of the Great Millstone on down, man. That's where the truth is coming, man.
I got that Sirach 10. It's Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful between God and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Exactly. That's why Esau sets up his race soldiers that they call law enforcement to hold on to what he's stolen. All right? You got a man that raped, robbed, and stole his way to power, and then set himself up to be the judge, to be the pastor, to be the teacher, to be the sheriff, to be the policeman.
Okay.
All right? And because the law enforcement in America are nothing but race soldiers, and the jakes that are onto them is nothing but sellouts, man. Because you willfully went and joined yourself to the slave
your
patrol,
enemy.
slave patrol with the badge. But basically, you went to make money. You went to go make a career to make money off of an organization that outright oppresses your people daily. All right. You how many cops and retired cops have made videos telling you how they're not cops anymore, or how they were instructed to do police work, enforce drug laws in neighborhoods where brown people were, and they don't enforce those same drug laws in pale neighborhoods. And I guarantee you that the average white teenagers, Edomite teenagers, and no such thing as white people, they're walking around with backpacks full of drugs all the time. But I'm traveling daily through Bucktown, Wicker Park. All right, I go through Ukrainian Village. I don't see a bunch of Edomites bent over the hood of their cars, getting their pockets ran, and pulling all the weed and Percocets and all the other shit, the shrooms and other shit, that all out of their backpacks.
Yep.
I don't see it happening, right? But you see just randomly, but you driving to my neighborhood, you're gonna see Judah and Issachar bent over their hoods with their pockets inside out and their seats torn out their car and all kind of shit. Being embarrassed and put on parade, and half the time they don't even have any damn thing.
Yep.
Or if they mouth off, they'll plant something on them and take them in. So it happens
Just like,
all the time.
a cop just tried to do it to he broke the back of a.
I saw that. The judge.
The judge, he didn't know she was a black old judge.
Yeah.
And he broke the back of her tail light, and she was like, oh.
He covered up his camera. You forgot that part.
Right.
He put his fingers over the camera and broke her tail light.
But you can hear it smash.
Yeah, but you couldn't see it. So
right.
You got to understand what I learned in dealing with them. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Right.
Because they'll know that a person is innocent and let them walk.
That's right.
Because they don't have even though they know it, they don't have the evidence. Right. So if you didn't see it, right. It didn't happen. All right. But
that's Sirach 10. Is that Sirach 10 one where it says it says it at the top about a wise ruler, man, and basically Esau, man, isn't wise. That's why it says.
Yeah, it says Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Well ordered. That's why there's all this chaos in America, because guess who's in control, man? On that one, man.
And they're orchestrating the fall.
Basis of man.
And in the midst of this fall, the low class people, the lower class people are suffering the most, and now Edomites are suffering horribly, right along with Jake now.
I just want to say that was a skit. That happens in real life, but that particular video was not.
The judge?
Yeah, that was a skit.
And we talked about that too, that it might have been a skit. Something to that effect.
But there is a real video that's been floating around for not too long, but a second now. The guy happened to be recording in the front seat, and he watched the cop in the back throw something.
Yeah, that was real.
And he caught it on camera. See, well, yeah.
So what happened? I just wanted to make sure.
So
And that's the sad part about this whole fucking social media shit. Half the shit is fucking AI. Half the shit is motherfucking skit. Half the stuff is content creators trying to come up with some new whatever spin. That's why I don't even like watching this shit.
Well, that particular video is on, if I'm not mistaken, is on a channel where they reenact certain shit that happens in real life.
Right.
Okay.
I think so it's like video.
Reenact.
Yeah, they reenact shit. I know exactly what you're talking about. But the point is, though, the reason you have content creators is because there's no jobs. Right. So everyone's trying to go to the internet to make money. So people are doing all kind of shit, from the OnlyFans to you know, to the porn sites, to whatever, you know, it is that they're doing, to the people who are actually trying to do marketing and sell. But how you gonna, you know, get rich off consuming shit when then nobody has any money, man? You know, it's people just don't have money like that anymore.
That's right.
You know, you had guys who frequent, you know, prostitutes and shit like that. Now they settling for just going out with Rosie Palm and her sister. All right, because they like shit. I can't. But you know what? It's gonna get so bad. The problem is
The
that
prostitute gonna come to them.
well, not only that, these prostitutes, the women who prostitute themselves for profit, and the guys don't have the money anymore. They're gonna need money so bad. They're gonna need protection. So it's gonna get crazy out there because a lot of guys are going to just start taking it.
Elder, can I say?
Right? We headed towards some really dark times, man.
Let's go.
Elder, remember, it was just only a couple years back when we were using the scenario between the border of Colombia and Venezuela to explain that was going to come here.
Yeah.
And now it's here, but not
Yes.
but now that it says, the thing is, about America is going to just as fast as it can go down, man. You're going to have that micro, what is it called? That hyperinflation, because right now we have inflation, which is price adjustment, not as fast. Where the hyperinflation comes in, where it's in that short period of time, you go back to the state. That's why Wendy's had that proposal that depending on the necessity of the meal and the time, that's what they're going to charge you for your meal. But they're basically, you know, resources are going to become scarce, man. All right, and they already warned you all this. Like even like the other said, like even these different scenarios, there are ideas that are being introduced to people. Other people that don't know those are reenactments are acting on those things. Even Edomites, because Edomites be like, oh, see, they're unlawfully making the cops look bad, you know, and they react to them because all that is made for that. For Esau to say, look, well, you guys are taking misinformation and disinformation to make videos, and we don't know what's true, so we got to shut everything down.
Exactly.
And it has to come from one newspaper and one verified source, you know, so that.
Yeah, because what you got that Agenda 2025. And the reason I speak on it, because it's going to go into the, you know, about the video, what the title of the video is, because the third wealthiest state in America is Texas. And, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's over 11,000 people that are homeless there. And what you have to understand, you had all these different people that work for the government, and it turns out that the whole dome is operating within fraud, because it turns out that the same amount of people that work for the government that they just released were the same amount that worked for them over 70 years ago. So, and basically what that's telling you is that with the same amount of people, they were able to service millions of more people. Because I think it was something, you know, it wasn't, you know, 340 plus million, well, over 400 plus million now with all the migrants that are here. But you have the same amount of people that were servicing, you know, 1.5 million less people. Now they're servicing way more people. So what that tells you is that these workers were being effective, not ineffective. So the Doles just lied to you. They're keeping that money, and they're also trying to bring down what they did, because the people that they fired were mostly so-called black women. They just lost all those government jobs, and now we find out that hand clap. Isaiah 32. And now I found out by listening to this same particular video. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna try to find it and maybe do a lesson specifically on it. But it talked about the woman that was complaining, talked about the patriarchy and how what they're trying to do, what they're now pushing in high school to the youth, is for girls to stop their education at high school and get married right after high school. So they're trying to reverse what they did, because see, they taught these women to avoid marriage, don't get married, go
get your career,
and then you know, and then they you know, then they're a super slut through high school, a super slut through college, a super slut through their whole years, and then when they're used up, you know, got all these different, you know, when they're completely defiled with way too many DNAs in their bodies, now they want to go and get married in a white dress and start trying to have children at damn near 40 years old. And so they got to take all these drugs and stuff. And so and with that happening, what that has done is it backfired on the so-called white race, because their women were the ones who going to the college the most because they could afford to do it. And then because they were trying to oppress Jacob, they gave the grants and all the goodies to the Judite woman for her to go get all this high education, but not the Judite man. All right, you understand?
Yep.
So it created that imbalance, and so now, in result of it, fast forward to now, their numbers are very, very low. So what do? They go and do as they're kicking all these people out of America that actually made America run. They're bringing in racist apartheid Edomites, who are literally were born into apartheid families who were part of that shit, and they're bringing them in, and they're gonna make them deputies and all kind of shit. They're gonna some of them are gonna be the what do you call them when you get deputized to actually go after the brown people. You see what they're doing, and at the same time, they want to bring back this patriarchy, but it's not patriarchy of men, it's patriarchy of so-called white men. That's what this white woman was really complaining about. So now the so-called black woman she's being discarded. She's useless to Esau, Edom, and so now you can just be a Candace Owen and be a famous or a not so famous jump off, a sexual toy to Esau, Edom, a so-called white man who really doesn't care about you, because I think she just welcomed her third terror baby, little brown Edomite that Candace Owens just had. So she just had a third one. But the point is that you so-called black women, you've worn out your usefulness.
Yes.
You know, as far as being the pit bull, working in these jobs where women aren't supposed to be over men, while helping to, especially when you work in them government jobs where you have to go in there and all the clerks at the Title 4D places and at the IRS, the DMVs, exactly,
bro.
Exactly, and they're literally the pit bulls for Esau Edom, and he has no more use for them. He's gonna euthanize those dogs now.
There it is.
So now that they're making all these videos now about apologizing, we need to get back with our brothers, and the brothers don't want you. And then they mad because so many brothers is boning, and getting with the other Edomites and other women and all that.
The brothers are in
and
jail.
Esau's upset about it too because he gave his woman freedom, and now she's like, "Well, I don't need your red ass anymore. I'm gonna go get the broke BBC dude because I can't." Right? Exactly.
And he got the BBC.
And there it is. So it's all backfiring. You understand? His point. There is no more wisdom left in Tima. It's all backfiring on him, man.
What did the girl say with was an anesthesia from the tooth? She said, "I need BBC."
She was cheering for it.
This is
Like, shut up!
I know.
Shut up!
Her mother was like, "Shh," because her mother probably was getting some too.
Yeah, shut them out. How you gonna get your money where I want, bro? But this is from Brookings.edu, and this is actually from 10 years ago, and it's already happening now. But they already projected
Wait,
it.
before you say it, let's also take into account going back from I think 2016 to 2020, the 40+ million adult age Edomites that died from fentanyl.
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah.
but they're like that,
That number disappeared.
But yet they still the most, and yet you know what I'm saying? That wasn't so-called black people and Hispanic people died from that. That was baby age making Edomites that died from that.
They're still dying.
Okay.
That's right.
They're
And
still
now,
fucking dying.
That's
Just it's not reported. They're still dying.
That's
From
it.
that, and the ones who took that, you know what?
Yes,
Right.
Okay, the ones who let them put that scientific project into their veins. Go ahead.
The U.S. birth rate is a 40-year low. Elon Musk reposted this on Twitter. Now, it starts off talking about Japan fertility rate is low for 2024. But then it goes and shows U.S. birth rate is at a 40-year low. Australia birth rate is at an all-time low. He says it's an existential crisis.
Yes, sir.
Then you go through the comments, somebody posts, this is a Western thing, and they show Europe and shit. And they say, like, Africa is up, I think 3.5 or some shit. So this is an Edomite problem, essentially.
Right, exactly.
That being the point, that's why they brought in the South Africans.
Right.
That's what this whole Project 2025 is about. Now what they're trying to do is reverse what they've done, and but their women are not with them. Job 27:15.
That's right.
And the Edomite woman isn't with them collectively. All right? They're against their own men. And they don't want to give up that BBC.
That's right.
They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up Jose and Pedro.
Once you go
Nah.
back,
They don't want to do that.
you
All
gotta
right.
go back.
Deuteronomy
This is,
30 and 7.
That's right. This is from Brookings.edu. The geography of white population laws. I'm just gonna read a little bit. I ain't reading a lot. It says the white population is barely growing, and in about 10 years, this was a 10-year-old article, so it's already been happening. Will begin to decline, which it's already had.
Is that happening now?
Yeah,
Yes.
because all through America, there are pregnant Edomite women right now that are pregnant with colored babies.
That's right, brother.
All throughout Europe, there are Edomite women that are pregnant right now with babies of color.
That's right.
Hey.
All throughout Africa,
That's right.
there are Edomite women pregnant right now, and in the islands that are pregnant right now, they're pregnant with babies with men of color.
That's right.
So the Edomites, they're done.
That's right.
All right.
It says a consequence of an old age structure, fewer births, more deaths, and little immigration. What that means is that many places, especially those experiencing out migration, are already experiencing white population losses. During the first decade of this century, white population losses were registered for 15 states, nearly half of the 360 metropolitan areas, and over half of the 3,100 counties.
And see, his lies are coming back to bite him in the ass. Okay?
Yep.
Because what Esau, he pushed that lie that if you have one drop of black blood, well, you know, which we know that's a lie. Because
Right.
if your father, like Candace Owens' children, they're completely melanated. All right?
Yeah.
But we know the seed, the sperm that they came from. All right? So it's got nothing to do with color, man. But Esau, but by his own false logic, you know, that would make all the babies that Edomite men make, because Edomite men are also having children with other women. All right? Mainly Negro women and Asian women. Because a lot of white women don't even want to get with Esau no more. Go ahead.
I
brother.
got a point and a precept. So you know how that Twitter I just mentioned, right? So I found this comment. It says, I'm ready to have at least 5 kids, maybe more. Here's the point. As soon as I find a smart man for it. Esau built that pit of feminism, and now it's biting him in the fucking ass.
That's
Because
right.
all they bitches, I guess the patriarchy, they want to party when they young, all right? Then go and have this fucking career and say fuck a husband. You see it all the time. You fuck a man. Fuck a man. They ain't about that.
And when they get one, they want a beta male
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
accepts their high body count, that accepts their masculine energy.
Yeah.
That matter of fact, like that accepts the fact that they still want to be with other men while they're married to them. There's a lot of them that get down that way too,
Right.
and that's what they're looking for.
And this bitch look about 40 years old saying this. She ready to have 5 kids.
Oh,
You
hell
can
no.
find a smart man because the birth rates are dropping. They need it. Hey, this is Proverbs 26, right?
You get them kids in
you
your
old. You should have
face.
been had kids.
Get them
Proverbs
kids in your
26,
face.
27. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. He that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him. So Esau rolled this stone of Planned Parenthood out, and now this shit is biting them in the ass. Now they daughters is going to get abortions. Now they pro my body, my choice shit. And while your numbers are declining, you got your boomers dying off, you got Fink killing y'all, you
Yep.
got the fact that all this shit is against you. Then the ones that can't get pregnant, they getting abortions, man.
Yep.
Esau has fucked himself over. All right? And now your women are against you. The curses are starting to hit your ass. Deuteronomy 37 is starting to catch up, man.
Got that.
They don't want it. They don't want the patriarchy anymore. All right?
I got the one that he just quoted, Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
And it's having a mega effect. On America, because it's also affecting everything else as far as the decline of the quality of life.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of bread, the lack of work, you know, the grindings are ceasing. So it's declining in that. So not only are they declining in numbers, but they're declining economically. And now they're setting up all this digital shit to try to take what's left, because now they're targeting the banks. These major banks are all shifting over to this digital stuff, and they're targeting people's 401ks. Those are all the boomers, all right? And the people with the biggest 401ks are Edomites. So they get ready to take everything, man. All right? And so they get ready to come with this UBI, with this homeless situation is out of control. Homelessness, and you know, like we said, Texas is the third wealthiest state in America, man. And they got a major MAGA homeless problem. And the same thing is happening in California. California is basically a rogue state. But both of them are two states that are on the edge of seceding. All right.
I said everything's bigger in Texas, even homelessness.
Right.
And it only makes sense. You know, they that's one of the biggest. I think it is the biggest state in the actually in the country. You know. Right. But yeah. But go ahead. Y'all got it.
Yeah.
There's a spike off or something. Limitations 1.
Limitations 1 and like 21. And it says, "Make this day like unto them." Because essentially that's what's going on. It's Haman in the gallows.
Right.
Everything Esau thought to do to us, whether it was exterminate us, kill us off, steal our heritage, right? Now all those things are really coming upon him. His women is coming against him and things of that nature. The whole ballot of the curses is happening to him.
That's right.
Right? He has had his due of heaven in earth. Right? So now what's the opposite end to that? His hell is getting ready to begin.
Yeah, you seeing Edomites get smacked up by cops.
You know?
That shit hilarious.
Yeah. You seeing, you know, that video with the MAGAs fighting against the neo-Nazi guys.
Yep.
You know, they just. I saw a video of two liberal Edomites, two older men, boomers, duking it out in the McDonald's. You know, so now these pale niggers, these real niggers, are acting up.
That's
All right.
Dang, I like how you
It
said
was
real
funny
niggas.
too.
Yeah, it was. It was
All right.
comical.
I got a precept. Oh, so like you no, you do it.
Limitation 4:21.
121.
Oh, 1 and 21. Lamentations 1:21. It says, "They have heard that I sigh, there is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble."
Right? Have they not? Hey, they didn't bury the dead bodies. All right, they didn't tell us we was Israelites. All right, they didn't tell us who we were. Matter of fact, they licked the wounds. All right, and it starts with Esau Edom because he set it up capitalism. All right, starting with your slaves. All right, go ahead.
It says, "They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto thee."
Right, so everything that happened to us when we went down, how they clapped their hands at us, how they hissed, all right, is going to happen to them, all right? Just like how we look, how the hell did Jerusalem get taken down? It had to be a divine intervention. The same thing is getting ready to happen to Esau Edom. Is this the man? All right, come. No. Is this the man that caused nations to tremble? All right, go ahead.
"That all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me, for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint."
So we're going to get, especially here in Babylon, overall, all you Edomites, and like with the number dwindling down, don't worry. Now it's easier to capture you motherfuckers when it's that time, all right? And all you guys are going to do is breed more slaves for Edomite slaves for us, man.
Good.
All right? Along with you other nations, because yeah, we're talking about Esau Edom, but all you go under that banner, man. All right, Isaiah 34. All right, Psalms the 83rd chapter.
Yep.
Now, hey, what's the other one? Maccabees, man. Not one has not had her part in what? Destroying us.
To bind their kings and
Yeah,
songs.
they've all profited and benefited in some way. And then you have those who sat by silent and said nothing, knowing who we were.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until now that it's coming out, all of a sudden they want to speak up.
Right.
And the thing is that they see that the Esau Edom is falling.
Yeah, they mad. Like, right, Pluty bringing out black icons. And we mentioned this yesterday. The spirit you said the other Malcolm. They get mad at America and they start giving little hints.
Right.
Want to bring out the icons. What you doing that for?
Right.
You had this whole time.
Right. You had it this whole time. You wait till now. Oh, this is
We just found this out.
Wait till they see this
Right.
black Jesus.
I just happened to go to the vault.
This is off what this brother said. This is Revelation 18:6. reward her even as she has rewarded you,
That's right.
and double unto her according to her works, and a cup which she have filled to her double.
This is Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Now, all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. Now, all that preyed upon thee will I give for a prey. So basically, what Shapaya was saying, hey man, all of these nations is about to get judged, man. All of them about to get devoured. There ain't nobody getting away from what they did to the apples of the Lord's eye. But you have to pay, man. You did this this wickedness and afforded it when you could have let us go.
Knowingly.
You know, and y'all put this hell on us, and now it's time for the hell to get thrown back on you. Ezekiel 25.
Go a little bit up and say, lovers have not pleased me. You understand?
In Isaiah 33:1.
Yeah, let me read, while you grabbing that, let me read this. Let me go back to Revelation 18. I'm gonna start at verse 2. And it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And how glorious that day is gonna be. And it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. That's why, like St. Benji said, they got mad, and all of a sudden they want to start, you got all these foreigners that are making videos talking about the Israelites, and they were black people, they were swarthy, all of a sudden everybody's dropping these hints, all right? And giving up their relics and showing their stuff, all right? It says, for all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornications, and the kings of the earth, which have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not a partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. And that doesn't mean that we get, tickets and all try to fly to Africa or anywhere. That's not what that's saying. Coming out of her means it means it's not subscribing to her ways, because the Bible is very clear on how the elect are going to be delivered. All right. And so it will be stupid for you're on the list to get delivered and you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right. That's like a brother missing his transport because he wasn't fucking there. All right. Okay. But it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, I read that one, Salakia. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquity. So the Lord is visiting and seeing the iniquities of Esau Edom, man. All right. And then that's when he said, when he says, reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she have filled to her double. All right.
Double. That's the judgment, man.
So you read the books, the heinous murders, slavery and treatment, the Jim Crow, the redlining, the prison to the school to prison pipeline, the administrings of drugs and diseases unbeknown, doctors giving injections to people of color that had diseases in them and shit like that, and all knowingly, all right, and all that sort of thing. They got to get all that back double. Thus saith the Lord, man.
Hey man, you probably seen it. It's a series out. It's called "Destroy All the Brutes." There's no way in hell Esau could deny who he is, man. It's on HBO. They show you the slaughter of the natives, the Latinos, and Jake.
Yeah,
that's the repeated story.
And they the savages are calling other people savages.
I got a precept.
Bring it out, brother.
This is 2 Thessalonians 1:6. It's saying, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Hey, and for some of our people, they don't feel like they're troubled by Esau, but that's why the fact that they see him as God, they're going to fall in this trick back, because here it is, you have our own people that are willing to die believing that their Savior has blonde hair and blue eyes, okay? And they wouldn't dare call upon a so-called black Jesus, man. And that's what's going to be the slaughter you so-called idolatrous, man, Latinos, man.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are going to die.
Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you right now, that's why there's a huge movement of Edomites that are no longer Christians. And the reason they're no longer Christians is because of the gospel of Yahushua. Many of them know that this to be true. You got a few that still, they're
Hold on to
very
the dumb
stupidly
shit.
and holding on to the lie. But many of them, they're not really rocking like that. And if you notice, the government has even switched from its false support of religion, and they're really pushing behind science. So that's another message being sold, going to the so-called white man, is that he had a government that supposedly in God we trust government that's now following after pseudoscience, which even in the so-called white man knows is false. Even they're coming against, because we know when they say that the natural immunity attributes to nothing, and then they turned around after they got caught and said, well, yeah, we lied about that. Well, duh, nigga, we knew.
Right.
It's just all them dumbasses. It's all them dumbasses who lined up to take the poison. They didn't, Notice we haven't said anything. You all right?
I got two in the chambers. This Sirach 25.
Let their ass happen.
This Sirach 25:7. There be 9 things which I will judge in my heart to be happy. Kind. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we seeing right now, man. We seeing the fall of our enemies, man. We eating that spiritual popcorn and just smiling, man. Like, yo,
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
That was the exact thing I was thinking.
Yeah, that means
that means right.
He chewing gum and chewing popcorn.
Yeah.
He the only one smiling. Everybody else got to look on.
Yeah.
Right.
Because this.
Hey, I watched a horror movie where Edomites were getting annihilated. And that was me. Everybody else is, and I'm, You're like, woohoo! Like, what you doing? Right.
This is also Salakia. This is Mark chapter 3, verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And we seen that, man. They at each other. You can't forget that the Russians are eating mice too, man.
Yeah.
And they Salakia.
Salakia, brother. No, he said they're divided against each other. So now I don't know if it's real or false, but but now Trump is supposedly beefing with Putin and all that other stuff. And I said, okay, well then that's just gonna make Putin go out and do something to fulfill prophecy.
Yeah.
And then literally the next day it was breaking news. Right, that Israel launched its major Gaza offensive to seize control of areas. So they started doing all this shit in Gaza again when they weren't supposed to be doing it because Trump went to go sit down with the heads of the Saudi Arabians to make this deal where they left Israel out. So Benjamin Netanyahu, his pussy hurt. Yeah. So he mad, he wasn't invited. So he went and did some shit. So look, the least of the flock is going to make this thing happen, man. Because the scriptures are very clear when it says, somebody get that and somebody get 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Because when they say peace and safety, man, shit about to go down. So now everybody's clapping. Oh, they're going to pull back the tariffs and Trump's making peace with Iran through Saudi Arabia and all. I'm like, nigga, you stupid.
Silly.
How stupid are you, man?
That's right.
Don't understand forked tongue.
And like the scripture, while they getting that scripture, the scripture says, in the days of Noah shall be the same until the Lord's return. Now, they were given in marriage. It always was a semblance of life. So people looking out like, no, we going to work. We got shit ain't happening. But they're not looking at the plagues. They're not looking at the signs. They're not looking at the news. They're not looking at the word and the prophecies come to pass. So they think like people we've known in our past, our cousins, like, oh, we got 30 years. I got 50 years. But we got time. They said, who said that? Nate said it. He said it a couple of weeks ago. He's like, they asked him, how long you think? So I don't know. I'm not saying this is all, but maybe 20, 30 years. Listen, Kari told him I'm talking about it could be in 1,000 years. Y'all, man, pray the Lord, please.
They do not understand the scriptures
at all.
The spirit is not with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right.
They're settled on their leaves.
Yeah. They
That's
chose who
what
their
that
master is, man.
It says what? Death, how bitter it is to them that are at ease in their possessions, roughly paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
hey man, these dudes, they sold out, they eating deliciously.
Yep.
So they want
Something
this
crazy
to
in the back.
continue. Something crazy in the garage. You know, they want that shit, man.
They master is mammon.
As opposed to the scripture saying the captive exile who hasten fast, that they may be loosed,
Man.
from this,
The righteous complain continually.
That's it. I got that scripture, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety.
Can you start at one? Salaki.
This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. And above it says the day of the Lord. So it says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, right? And then it says, matter of fact, further in this, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because we're the watchmen, watching for the signs of the times, right? So it says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, and who's the ones that's going to be saying peace and safety, right? The powers that be.
Yep.
You see, because they don't want you to know the agenda. It's a thing that's called gradualism, right? To get to their ultimate agenda and do it in little small increments, all right? So you don't notice the difference. So you don't notice anything. So you don't, buck up and, they don't want sedition or question, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a great comedian that I believe they got rid of him. And he made the statement in one of his stand-ups that this government does not want a well-formed society.
George Carlin?
Didn't say his name on purpose. But nevertheless, he said that the government did not want, does not need nor desire a well-informed society. They don't, because if people knew what the hell was going on here, they're
supposed to revolt.
They be running up in their city halls, right? Like them Europeans do. We all saw that. Asha brought it up. That one dude who walked into that meeting with he had the thing on him and a couple grenades.
Yeah.
He wasn't fucking playing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Them Europeans, they did when they feel like they've been wronged by their government or misused unlawfully, they take a stand. Americans, I always say, they have the home of the brave, and I can keep calling it. America's the home of the bend over and take it. All right.
And then a bunch of cups.
They bend over, they hand you the Vaseline, then bend over for you. That's what these fucking sorry ass, weak ass Americans do, man.
Dang.
Or they do like Cassie's husband. All right.
Well, anals are. So go back in this 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3.
You still with that chick?
Still with
Yeah. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see, because they're going to get caught out there, because the Lord going to catch them unawares. Why? Because they wasn't watching for the Lord. They didn't desire the Lord. They wasn't watching for the signs of the times.
What I'm saying, you know what they peace and safety? The MOTB. They gonna look at that as a solution, because before all the World War III shit pop off, that MOTB got to be dropped.
Right.
So when that hour of temptation is brought upon us, only select members is gonna be covered from that. The rest of you people that's not in the know, you're gonna go for the okie doke, man.
Right, and like you said, they're gonna play it as it's the saving grace, as it's the solution. But guess what? To say that, then, well, that denotes that it's gonna be some type of craziness and chaos going on in the world where it's no type of normalcy to where people looking for the normalcy. So the powers that be, the wicked powers that be, is going to come and implement and mandate that so-called saving grace, which is the MOTB, all right, to get back to some type of normalcy. So then those that want that normalcy is going to take it. You know what I'm saying?
Snake oil doctor.
That's it. That's it.
Selling the snake oil.
What you say, Vic?
Well, I got a precept for you, but just like during the lockdowns, all right, you have either certain caps out there talking about, well, you need to work, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, you need to do this, don't you?
Right.
You got to eat, don't you?
So-
Look, man, that's Isaiah 31 and 1.
Yup.
Most of them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many. And the horses because they are very strong, but they look not into the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. So, for one, woe means destruction. So, if you trusting in Egypt, destruction.
That's it.
Yet he also was wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word. So, the hour of temptation will come. All right, bad times will come. Evil will come to this world, man.
And we're talking about the height because it's already bad times and evil. But there's about to be a time like the
It's about
scripture
to get worse,
says,
man.
yeah, never before.
Like that dream I had. That shit was crazy, man.
Yep.
So people getting ready to be kicking indoors, man.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. And
That's
then
it.
from what I hear, it's already happened. They're just not reporting on it.
Right.
All right. And like that one guy, the video I watched, when the guy said, "Let me see if I still have it. I'll just play it."
Right. Like you said, it's already happening, but on small scales. See, it's gonna happen on much bigger scales.
On a big scale, so much that Michael the Archangel gonna have to kill.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna
you
be.
fucking Christians been getting on my nerves on lately, man.
Lately.
I mean, not lately, but you know they. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you been getting on my nerves for the last 18 fucking years, man. Scoffing this shit. All right, scoffing us, calling them correct names, speaking the correct names. Ashmokadah, just mocking Yahweh, house shine, talking shit, talking about the Gentiles ain't Israelites. Everybody can be say, I can't wait till you get fucking terrified.
Get what
Yeah,
they
Jacob
fucking
Trouble.
deserve.
Right.
Right.
And it's coming. It's coming. Right. And we're giving you the warning right now.
Right.
But the thing is, the only ones that's going to heed the warning is the elect of the nation of Israel. So by the time it go ahead and hit those that it's going to hit, hey, you were without excuse because you were told and you just didn't accept it.
I got
That's why so like I was about to say, that's why the scriptures say, my sheep will hear my voice. That's all I want to say.
Kanye, it's more than this, Pops.
Okay.
I ain't finished the verse out. Yeah, he also was wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words. But will arise against the house of the evildoers. So Esau was going down. And against the help of them that work iniquity. So the help they come with is peace and safety. It says the Lord is going to rise against it. Now the Egyptians are men and not God. And their horse is flesh and not spirit. So the shit Esau come with is man-made. And people look at this at America and it's technological. They look at the technology. They look at this shit and they think, oh, look how great this place is, but there's no spirit in it.
Right.
The Lord give you a horse, it won't run you off a fucking cliff.
Right.
You driving a car. Hey, a bitch just, I just saw a clip where this car was going fast as fuck down a residential area, flipped, ran and went airborne and went to a house.
Damn.
The bitch had a heart attack while driving. But because this vehicle, this horse, has no spirit, it didn't stop. It kept going. And in fact, her foot hit the accelerator and went faster and fucked some shit up, right? But it says now the Egyptians are men and not God. And their horse is flesh and not spirit. Well, the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fail, so like shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, they all shall fail together. So Esau with his help is being attacked, and if you take the help, you're gonna fall with him.
Yes, sir.
So when that chip is in place, the answer to everything,
broken reed.
All right, you gotta be fucked, man.
Yeah, because like I said, they're gonna make it so bad. That's why they're doing this. And the whole Agenda 25 and everything, the bringing in the digital thing, they want to get this UBI going and the rounding up and bringing down the numbers of Jake and bringing in all these Edomites. I'm gonna play this short video. It's only 1 minute and 20 seconds long. I found it's not the one I wanted, but this is still a good one on the same subject, similar subject matter, I should say.
Oh.
So
Can I get this in while you?
hold it, brother, because I got it. It's right here. Yeah.
The name Eric Prince ring a bell with any of you? Well, it should. He's behind Blackwater. You know, that military contractor group that was over in Iraq and the Middle East that ultimately massacred hundreds of people. But the only one we were able to prove was when they shot 16 Iraqi civilians and 15 more, killing 14 in total. in 2020. Now we're in 2025. Eric Prince just came up with a bid to the federal government saying he could round up 16 million illegal immigrants in the United States by the midterms for $25 billion. Furthermore, in his little battle plan, he proposes that we recruit people from other countries to come over and help us do this. Because him and Trump both know that damn near 70% of the country would never be on board with this. And guess who just landed in the United States last night? The first group of white South Africans claiming to be persecuted of their skin color that are pro-apartheid. No kidding, man. And now we're getting reports that Blackwater camps are being set up in U.S. military bases. This is what you call the actual invasion, folks. It wasn't brown people from Latin America. It's our own government.
So their own government is about to move on the people, man, and he's gonna use a lot of these racist Edomite offshoots from other countries to do it, man.
Trojan horse.
All right.
It's like a Trojan
So
horse.
because he's complaining about migrants, but yet he wants to bring in Edomites from around the world to you see what's happening here?
That's my
So he's trying to push the actual people who are from this landmass out, all right,
again,
or put them again,
Right.
and put them inside these internment camps and prisons as he brings in Edomites, and where he's going to be forcing the girls to get married right after high school and have Edomite babies. That's what they want. That's the whole MAGA. That's the Make America Great. That's MAGA goes hand in hand with Project 2025. And when you really get them to talking and being honest, they'll tell you that's what it means to them. Make America. It should just be called Make America White Again. All right? Because, I listened to a guy get interviewed, and basically he was talking about, well, I just want to take it back to when we had all the advantage. When we got hired first and we had all the jobs and they weren't taking, and the blacks weren't taking all our women. And I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, well, what, Pedro Jose taking your women too. I'm like, even Sanjay taking your women, man.
That's not gonna stop.
I'm like, why you?
It ain't gonna stop.
Yes, Saeed and Sanjay taking your women, man.
And Ming Ching Wong is too. Everybody's taking Esau because Esau males ain't doing it.
Nah, he gay.
You gotta say it in your Riley voice.
Jim niggas gay.
Exactly, man.
But that's beautiful because the Lord says he's overturning everything that Esau's done.
Shame for spewing on his glory.
Exactly. That's right. Perfect.
He's no longer white.
That's right.
Now he's
not as pure as he thought he was. This man, and he turned himself into an angel of light, but it is known across the world that Esau is the devil. You ain't got to believe in the devil, the Bible, or whatever you want to call it. Most of these other nations know that the so-called white man is a deceiver. He's a fucking liar. He cannot be trusted.
The Hawaiians and Samoans hate him.
They say that
they really dislike him. We all remember that woman that got up and led that war chant. So yeah,
they say that
she get. I didn't know what the fuck she was saying. She got me charged. So she got everybody. She got everybody riled up, man. So, but the point is that the nations people are tired of Esau, man.
Yeah. They say that in like foreign movies, like especially if you watch the major movies, they always call Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. They call him the foreign devil every time.
Yeah.
See, but even Esau don't fuck with Esau. Even the Mormon dude that we had a couple of weeks ago that came to the camp that told one from London. When I told him that when I was over there in London, that majority of them didn't fuck with America, he said, "You're right." Now here he's over here in America.
Well, Americans don't really fuck with the Mormons either, because that's the one branch of Christianity that all Christians come against. Because within the Christian community, they don't consider Mormons Christians. In case you didn't know that, Christians don't consider Mormons Christians at all, because they figure they just got their own book. They got a whole nother book, and I'm like, well, then why you not saying nothing about the Jewish people?
And the Talmud.
They worship out of the Talmud. And then the Jewish rabbis keep calling you American Christians Edomites. He keep telling you Esau. You know, Asaph and Esaph.
Not us.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So, you know, like the brother mentioned it earlier, that a house divided cannot stand.
Right.
And
Yeah.
these people are completely and totally against each other. Pops, you had a scripture. Bring it out, Pop.
Pass.
No, well, that division is at the height. Esau's been divided for a long time. You go back to Greece, you go back to Rome.
Yup.
Esau is greedy even amongst his own people.
Yeah.
Right, and that's just his history. When the Lord told him he will he will be the ruler of sin, that's what it is. Even amongst his own people, you know, you have an unrighteous father. All right, so now that we're at pretty much almost the totality of Esau's ruling, everything's out in the open. This man has been wicked since the beginning.
You're right.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Since Greece and Rome, even before when at the
I
setting up
always
of
say the
Greece,
evils multiply.
yeah, it multiplied,
Yeah.
and the Edomites first warred on each other, and then they started warring on all the people around. Because you got to think Alexander's men, who were supposed to be together and rule together in his stead, they all started fighting against each other.
That's why they got rid of them.
murdering each other's families, and then the families murdered each other. Brothers murdered brothers, you know.
I got something for you for that. You got something, Benji?
Well, I was gonna mention. I can't remember the name of the original, the first. That was one of the four that they got rid of.
I think they got rid of. It was like Lysimachus. Which one was it? They did. You had Cassandra,
We're talking about
Lysimachus,
the four generals.
the four generals.
Right.
Cassandra Ptolemy.
Right, but that was one.
It was another one.
That they got rid of
him.
Right.
And the reason they got rid of him was because he wanted to keep the kingdom united like Alexander had.
Right.
They said, no, fuck that. Get two of them united to get
Get him out.
to get him out.
Right.
And
And
then
then
they
killed
gonna be
Alexander's son
separated.
too.
Damn.
Because Alexander had a son, so they made sure that he got that he got unalived, so he couldn't raise up. Because that would have made all of them illegitimate. If his son would have got to age, so they got rid of him too. So these Edomites, that's what they own, man.
This is Isaiah the 19th chapter and the first verse. The burden of Egypt, and this is modern day Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And that fierce king looks like Donald J. to the Trump. All right. And right now, out of all the time in America, we have Esau against Esau on such a high level. I mean, they're against each other. Matter of fact, Esau's against each other, not only here in America, but Esau abroad. The European powers are against America, even though they're supposed to be allies. The European powers against Russia, America's against Russia, even though they're still Edomites. The Lord has put a thorn all throughout Esau, Edom, and it's coming to fruition today.
Divide and conquer. Same
Yes,
thing
sir.
that happened to us. It's happening to Esau on all scales.
Yeah, because you can't fight your enemy and then fight yourself too.
Right.
Donald.
And there was a Chinese general, Chinese warlord or general, and I forget his name, but he said something to the effect that when your enemy is in a chaotic state, you leave him be, let him weaken himself. All right. Let him destroy him, let him weaken and destroy himself, roughly paraphrased. And then it'll be that much easier to go in and conquer him. And Moab really believes, because I don't know if you know, but the Moabites really went hard against Israel and threatened them. And basically said, if you do anything, to come against us, you will no longer exist. Moab just said that yesterday. Yeah, that's what he said. He said
They flew over. Yeah, they flew
Moab,
over.
yeah,
They weren't supposed to fly over. Yeah.
What they did was Moab flew into the area that the Edomites, the Amalekites over there had cut off food supply from the Gaza.
That's right. Yeah.
The Chinese went over there, broke through their barricades, and brought the people food and supplies.
And
And basically said, if you say or do anything, we'll wipe you off the face of the earth. It's basically what they just said.
Say something, look, nigga.
Yeah, and guess what? Amalek didn't say a fucking thing.
Of course they did.
They ain't say a goddamn thing. All right. The Chinese went over there to Israel, but they're the chosen people.
Right.
But they went over there to Israel, went through the barricades, brought this food, water. All right. And the IDF was the bitches they are, because they only as big Billy badasses when they fighting and killing
Women and
unarmed
children,
people, women and children, and people that can't fight back.
Yeah.
They have no means. You got guns and we got slingshots. All right, now they want to be tough. Now you have some soldiers come over there, and we all seen them down Moab, you know, them damn Koreans and them Chinese, how they get down. You know, IDF didn't want no smoke.
Definitely didn't want to.
Yeah, bro.
So them niggas went on a smoke break. While they went through them barriers and brought all that food.
It's funny
So we came back off break and they just had food and supplies.
We had a meeting.
That's funny. That's funny you say this. Now, I saw the video of them saying it, China's saying it, dropping videos and everything. I just went to go pull it up, and all I said, China drops food over Gaza. I'm hearing false claims of China airdrops to Gaza.
I got the video.
I kind of so but I'm gonna let you know, just this is the war that we're in now.
Yeah.
It's the information war, and they're losing, but they still control the narrative. Because I saw it too, Zuquan, and I promise you, that's why I was about to pull it up. And first thing I do to go pull it up, I didn't go into my archives. I went to just Google, and they're saying, "Oh, it didn't happen." They said, "Did China really airdrop aid to Palestine?" No. They said, "Fact check: China airdrops aid into Gaza Strip." No. Find the facts here.
They were on live yesterday, for about an hour, and it says right here, this is what the Chinese said. Okay, let me put this in the camera. Can you
So how we gonna explain?
They said that this. I was watching it live I watched about 20 minutes of it yesterday.
Damn.
All right. They had a live press, and this was before they went and brought the aid to Gaza. All right. So them Israelis coming against it. Cheesecake? It says
cheesecake.
Hey man, y'all knew cheesecake.
Hey, that niggas deserve shit.
They actually
Let him eat cake.
what the Palestinians are going through, they actually deserve it. But it says this is what the Chinese spokesman said, all right, on national TV, on the fucking internet. All right, because I was fucking watching it with the translators. It says, Israel cruelty has reached its peak. For a long time, no country dared to send food and drinks to Gaza. Netanyahu oppressed Gaza through illegal occupation. China continues to support the 6.20 cargo ships and dispatches modern jet fighters to escort the cargo. If Israel makes even the slightest mistake to stop it, Israel's name will be erased. And Netanyahu will cry and go to Trump to save us from China. That's what this man said on live fucking TV yesterday. Broadcasting fucking live.
Now, while you're saying that, I'm playing footage of them.
So that's what he said, man. So they could, try to sit up and try to control the narrative and say, fact check. This did not happen. Nigga, you got black eyes and teeth missing. It's evidence that you got your ass whooped.
Come on now.
Yeah. Come on. Then nothing happened to me. I fell down. Yeah.
Nigga,
you got knocked out.
I'm showing videos of it now. So if China didn't do it, who dropping it? We know Israel didn't do it. You know America didn't do it.
Process of
right?
elimination.
Who's dropping now? Look, I'm showing right now footage of these things coming down from parachutes. The food that and they're getting
escorted by fighter jets.
Come on now. And you see people picking it up, and you see a whole bunch of Palestinians.
And why would you just want to,
come on,
do that to people? Just let them starve to death.
Come on, bro.
So these people are extra wicked, man.
Run that again.
I got you.
This is the same nation that told America, listen, we don't want war, but we're ready for it. That was a hell of a statement to say.
Canada, bro, one of their hugest trade partners that was basically like, look, off the shelves. He said, even if y'all stop the tariff, we're not even, basically they're in a pro-Canada kick, man. And then people get organized more than you Americans will, man.
Okay, right there.
The rest of the world ain't fucking dildo heads like you American.
You can show it on this camera too, Baku Shop.
What the words?
No, he's gonna. But he gonna show a little bit of the video, just the footage.
And it just show you the lies that Esau Edom, and it's really
He's lying and said it didn't happen, and this shit just happened, and this footage went up all over the internet, every fucking where.
And they can't scrub it. That's why they want to control the internet, because they want to scrub all. They want to take away all the evidence of their debauchery.
Right, and I watched the man say it in the damn,
Why it was happening.
Right.
That's it. This is not happening. Do not pay attention. Don't look up.
Right. There's nothing to see here.
Right. Yeah, he's like, they're right. Don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain.
Right. Wizard of Oz.
That's it.
So yeah, man. So and as far as we did touch on the title a little bit. We did talk about Texas a little bit, but the spirit do what the spirit do, man.
That's right.
And the fact is that it's not only homelessness is a problem all across America, and it's only going to get worse, man. All right. What's that pretty lady? The sister that got the little talk show, always wearing a hat. Now she's become very popular. She's always talking about gloom and doom now, but basically she did not.
No.
Candace Owens was not that cute. This chick is really pretty. She but basically her last video she was talking about people living in poverty. And no, not people living in the storage units.
Oh,
that's a regular thing across America. People living in storage units.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can afford to pay a storage unit, so you can it's safe, I guess. You can go in there, it's heated, and you can slide your door down and get inside your own little thing.
Yep.
Right.
And then you get up and leave early in the morning and go to work and do whatever.
Yep.
You go to the gym, work out, take a shower, and go to work before you come back home to your storage unit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it feel like you going in and out of prison every day. You got to return to a prison cell, but
that's all they get paid.
But living in America, we in one gigantic prison cells.
That's it.
Some people are locked in an actual room, a 5 by whatever room, and then some people are free to roam and ride the trains and ride around. But you
work release.
Right, you were right, but you really can't leave the gigantic. You still inside the prison.
Right.
You can't leave.
There's people that do videos of them being in their vehicles and stuff and make it seem like it's super cool and shit like that.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
If you think back over the last 3-4 years, they were really pushing that van living.
Yep.
And people were buying trucks and turning them into houses and stuff like that.
Exactly.
They were trying to glorify, the tiny home movement. The people with their touring their home, got your home hooked up to your truck.
Buying storage units and turn them into that shit.
So, that was all signs of the decline, man, and now it's here. Yep. Right? So we just want to give all praise to Yahweh. Hand claps, man. It's a beautiful thing watching, these people, the curses fall upon them, and watching this place go down. So with that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. Kwam Yasharallah. Bob Babal.
Turtles, machines, the dog barking for half a second.